Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday Fun Day, as most people call it, right? And we're here doing another live. I'm going earlier today because Sunday evenings are reserved for the lectures for my coaching members. So if I give you guys a live, it's going to have to be a little bit earlier. I like doing it in the evening. As I transition this into more of like a full-time show, I will definitely be releasing a schedule, and it probably will be in the later evening hours. Okay, let's talk. I've had a lot of new conversations in the last 24 hours with people, friends, new people. And I'm finding, just like before, people are struggling right now. I look at a lot of entrepreneurs pretty much since 2020. A lot of people in real estate right now are struggling heavily. And really, I want to parallel this with some of the things that I'm going through and that I have been through for the last 10 years that I've been putting stuff out on social media, because I think it's relatable to people and I think it's going to help them, right? Understand that everything you see from me, right, you get highlights. Like, I'm very transparent. I've talked a lot about my mistakes, what I've done right, what I've done wrong, right? And to the best of my ability, I've been pretty fucking transparent with everybody about virtually everything, right? I might not have shared every single minute detail about my life to the world, but the vast majority of it, I have. What I've done right, what I've done wrong, my failures along the way, so on and so forth, right? So with that said, you guys, for me and most people, you see highlights, you see the wins, you see the accomplishments, right? You don't really see the journey. Even the journey, you only get little snippets because you're not there. Now, my students and the people closer to me, right? And my coaching members and all that, of course, they have more access, so they see more, but even they don't get to see it all because you're not with me 24/7, 365, day by day, moment by moment, right? You'll get little blips. You come see me in person, you'll get a little bit here and there, right? But that's what you see. Meaning you're only getting a micro condensed view of what that is. Meaning when I have the up day or the down day, you don't see it. All the bullshit I go through in the background, you don't see it, right? And many of you going through the beginning building phases of your business, I've been through it. I've broken down in tears, right? I've been with my back against the wall thinking, shit, how am I going to pay my bills this month? I've been there where people around me are flaking on me, right? The people that I trusted or relied on are leaving or saying, you know what, I'm out of here when you need them the most. Being shunned by your own circle and family and all that. Feeling like, man, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do and not getting the result. I've been there, right? I've heard it all from people. I've been there. Now, what separates somebody like me from most people when it comes to these things, because, you know, building a business, living your life, right? All these things have been decodified. Nothing about this stuff is new. Everything it takes to be good at something, the road to entrepreneurship, right? All this stuff that we talk about, none of it is new. Yet the overwhelming majority of people fail, and only a small percentage of people have real, what we consider success. Like noteworthy success, I guess would be the right way to coin it, right? Like me, where people will consider me successful and make a lot of money, blah, 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 right? Only a small percentage of people hit that realm, that level, whatever you want to call it. And then a percentage of us will come on and speak to the world and do these shows and make videos and content and all this stuff, right? But what really separates us, because I'm going to talk about that today, but the title, Times Are Tough, Are You? That's funny. I can see the peacock on the roof of my neighbor's house. That's so funny. I am no different than you. I'm not special. What has allowed me to reach this pinnacle of success that people will call it, right? What separates me and some of these other people from everybody else? One of them is this, the title. I'm a tough, stubborn motherfucker when I need to be. Right? I remember being brand new and knocking on doors and making cold calls every day. And every day I was told to go fuck myself. You suck. You're a bad salesperson. Why are you calling me? Right? Feeling like I can't make it past the beginning of a conversation, you know? But rep number 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, I was still plugging away. And in that mass of just rejection, not feeling good, negative emotions, there were little golden nuggets, we can call it, right? Like you're digging for gold. And the vast majority of the time people would dig for gold, they wouldn't strike gold. They would come up with nothing. And they were risking it all. Some people quit. Some people struck gold. But anybody, right? Anybody who struck gold. Nobody went and then the first day they struck gold. They were out there getting their ass kicked and then they eventually got it, right? Meaning the lion's share of the time that they're out there, they're not getting rich and making money. They're working, knowing that one day they will strike gold. And that's a great reference for this. And a lot of people just are not willing to go through it. There's going to be days as an entrepreneur where you don't get shit. No leads, no appointments, no sales. There's probably going to be a lot of days like that. But see, that's a part of what this is. Sorry, I keep looking at the peacock as I see him there. That's too funny. That's what this is, man. The lion's share of the time, there's losses, challenges, struggles, speed bumps, where it will require a certain level of mental fortitude as an individual to know that, hey, this is a part of the game. You see, what I see people now making mistakes is they want to avoid that, right? Well, I can just build an online business, sit back and, watch people come to me. It's not going to happen, dude, right? You will be exposed at some point for not having the skills, not being tough, not being of the proper mindset, not having the skills, not having the expertise. The chickens will come to roost. There's no way around it. So look at all these qualities. Being tough. Being tough isn't, I'm tough. I can fight anybody. No, it's not tough. Tough is up here. Tough is this. I don't care what you put in my way. I will not stop. I don't care how many times I get rejected. I'm going to knock on the next door. I don't care how many times I'm going to get rejected. I'll make the next call. Because that's something that people forget, right? The game is over when you decide to shut down the PlayStation, right? In real life, the game is over when you decide to quit. When you're like, you know what? I throw in the towel. I'm done. Up until that point, nobody can tell you that you failed. You just haven't reached the goal or success, whatever we call it, yet. You haven't gotten there yet. Why? I'm still actively in the game. That's somebody who's tough, who, in spite of what seemed like insurmountable odds, they keep going. Right? I would get messages like that back in the day. Like, damn, bro, you're just nonstop. Exactly. Because I know that's the recipe for achievement. Just that burning desire, like you would read in Napoleon Hill's book, right? Think and Grow Rich, like basic stuff like that. But you have to look at that in real life and translate it and say, what does that actually mean? A burning desire. The burning desire, right? The burning desire means I want it so bad. And I'm sure all of you have been to a point where it's almost like if any of you, like, I don't really experience this anymore, but back in the day, you would have a craving so bad for chips, something salty, something sweet, right? Maybe you were addicted to something, right? Like a medicine or even smoking weed, whatever it is. Like that's what a burning desire is, meaning you might be harming yourself or whatever, but you will do it and you will find a way to buy that beer or do whatever it is you need to do, eat that cookie, brownie, right? Chips. And you feel like, again, nothing's going to get in your way. That's what a burning desire is. Now, that one's uncontrollable and unconscious, which is bad, and we got to fix it. But that same mechanism there, outside of your control, demonstrates to you that that mechanism is there, meaning you can take control of that mechanism and activate your own conscious burning desire. That is achievable as a human being. I've done it, and a lot of people have done it. Once you have that, all this other shit becomes, it just literally almost like dissolves. It like spontaneously combusts. And think about all the basic stuff that I hear and the questions that are said. How do you stay motivated? How do you start? All that stuff goes away when you have a genuine burning desire. And many of you, right? And this blows my mind a little bit because I've been there, right? When you have your back against the wall, no money, nobody believes in you, you feel like the walls are closing in. If that doesn't give you a burning desire, my friend, what the fuck is it going to take? Because if you're watching this right now and your life is in shambles, like, you know, you have no money and all this stuff, like you're literally, especially if you're older, like you're 25 and older, you're a loser. There's no way around it. No purpose, no motivation, no ambition for life and success and progress as a human being, right? You're a loser. But see, the world has coddled everybody. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Times are tough. Shut up, man. No, no, you're a loser. And if I ever go back to that mode or, you know, end up like that, then I'm a loser too. And I'm going to have to raise my hand. But we have to call it as it is. Because the world doesn't reward soft and weak. It chews it up and spits it out for breakfast. No one's going to come help you. No one's going to come pick up the pieces. It's on you. Think about this. Times are tough, right? Where was everybody when I got censored? Did anybody come to my rescue? Did all these big collaborators that I had and big channels come to, hey, man, let me collaborate with you. Let me get some people to you? No, I had to figure that shit out on my own. Nobody came to give me money or help me build up my platforms. You know who helped me? Me. You see? But I'm not mad at that. I can't expect people to do that. Especially in the social media world. If you don't have a big name or a big name anymore, they're not gonna collab with you. Look at it, right? Pay attention. So I could have either complained and made excuses or done what I'm doing now, which is rebuild it from the ground up and make it bigger and stronger, which I will. I mean, I'm already well on my way, really. If we take a look at the statistics, right? Changing companies, doing this. I mean, there's so much that I've done. I grew a nationwide real estate team months after they shut down the world for the C word, because I can't even say it anymore, right? Who does that, man? When everyone else was complaining, oh, we can't do anything, the world is shut down. I went out and I conquered while the world was shut down. What were you doing? So this isn't my first rodeo. And I've done it in my younger days. I mean, I'm just going to keep doing this thing. It's not a problem. I can replicate this over and over and over. You know, people say, oh, man, how can I be a good speaker like you, Brian? I go live now every day for 30 minutes or an hour. You think this isn't improving my communication skills? Of course. I talk to people on the street all the time. I'm organizing events. I'm doing inviting people to my podcast. I'm doing so much to work on it, aside from reading and studying and then training other people, right? So, of course, this muscle is being worked constantly, 24/7, 365. And I just naturally fall into leader roles. I can go out with my friends and colleagues, and I just naturally am the one that's leading with the stories most of the time and telling everybody what to do. But see, I work this muscle and I work this muscle consistently. And yeah, I go through my shit. I mean, in the last couple of years, I've done a lot. I've invested in more property since I moved to Miami. I've done so much in regards to the financial realm, but I've had my struggles too. Like I told you guys, I've had months in the last 2 years where my top month, I made like $240,000 in 1 month. That was my goal for the year when I first started out 10 years ago. I made that shit in a month. But I've had recently months as low as 30, 35K. That's a huge difference. You see? Now, many of you can't fathom that amount of money yet. That's fine. But see, I put things in place so that doesn't destroy me. And it was just temporary. But see, did I freak out? Did I complain? No. I made the adjustments that I need to make. And stuff like that's going to happen. And I'm prepared for it. No problem. But the wheels are going to keep turning. We're still going to make money. We're still going to grow. We're still going to move forward. I'm not going to sit there and pout like most people. Right? And if you've been paying attention over the last couple of years, I've been giving people advice on my old YouTube channel, the new YouTube channel. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going through, right? I've led people on every step of the way. Just like I've made smart moves. Selling my Lamborghini, selling the Porsche, the GT3 RS, selling my Supra. I made money off that shit, except for the Lambo. But every other car that I sold that I had that was a collector car, I made a fat profit on it. How many people do you know selling used cars making profits? I saw an opportunity in the market. I took advantage of it. Did my emotions sometimes want me to keep the car? Sure. Oh, yeah, you can show it off on Instagram and YouTube. Who cares? I'm thinking bigger. I want the money to invest. Boom, I get 200 or 300 grand in profits, immediately reinvest it back into real estate and other things. I remember taking pictures of all the money in my bank accounts, right? I was like, man, I got a shitload of cash right now. I got a couple hundred G's just sitting there. This is cool. All from a kid who decided to build up his real estate business who was broke. And then I look now, people are suffering, right? By the end of this month, I think in cash reserves, just from making a few moves, I'm probably going to have 150, 170 in one of my bank accounts from this. And I'm looking around and people are struggling. They can't even rub two pennies together. We're moving money and doing this and selling properties and buying properties and all this shit. So now when I sit back, I'm like, wow, I'm in a very different position because of the moves that I make, but it has its challenges because when you start dealing with higher level people, right, you start running your own business and having employees and making a lot more money, you have a lot more at stake. The pressure is on, right? Being a solopreneur, a sole proprietorship, you just working with yourself, you're just selling and doing your thing. When you start bringing people on, you have the responsibilities of a man and as a leader. Can you lead other people and deal with their bullshit too and yours? That's a different skill set, man. That's what I love teaching people, especially now, some of the higher level students. You need to be a completely different animal to be a leader compared to just a solo entrepreneur and business owner. Because you don't own a business unless you have employees. So that's the step. But I have a lot more at stake now. I have salaries to pay. I have all this stuff, right? So a lot of people who want that position, they're not ready for it. Because at the first sign of challenge or slowdown or adjustment needing to be made or hard times, because look, everybody goes through hard times, right? Even at this level, I go through hard times. Because just like you have your ups, you have your downs. It's not all rainbows and sunshine over here. But the message stays the same. My work ethic stays the same. My character stays the same. Why? Because when times are tough, your true character is revealed. Do you waver? Do you fold? Do you break? Do you shatter when times get a little tough? Does all that talk that you give and all that shit talking you do go out the window about staying disciplined and doing what you need to do? You know how it goes. Just like when COVID hit, I said, watch, all these influencers are going to disappear because the party's over. The gig is up. And what happened? You saw a lot of them go into hibernation. You know what I do now when I go through tough times? I smile and say, bring on more. I can handle more. I'm ready for it. If I'm ever put in a position again where I'm like in financial ruin or on the brink of it, no problem. Let's say I do go bankrupt or do something like that. I'll get through it and then I'll build right back up. I'm not worried about it because that's a possibility for anybody, whether through your own mistakes or something catastrophic. And I would probably document it along the way and then show people, look, watch me rebuild. No problem. So ask yourself, right? What's your threshold for that? Does somebody maybe having an annoying voice just set you off? Well, if that's the case, then your toughness threshold is very low, dude. You know, I had a moment today earlier in the parking lot where this lady was taking like a half an hour to pull out of her spot, and I was laughing. I was like, man, 10 years ago with where I was mentally, this shit would have set me off. And now I'm just laughing. I made a video. I'll probably post it later. Like, look at this lady. She's taking 30 minutes. This is hilarious. Versus 10 years ago, that shit would have pissed me off. But see, I can handle so much more. I've grown, I've evolved as a man and as a human being. It takes a lot more than somebody pulling out of a parking lot slowly to set me off. Because if I saw that, somebody going off in traffic or getting mad at people like over stupid shit like that, and they were a business owner, I would look at them funny. I would say, they don't belong at my table. They have a lot of work to do. I don't want that type of character around me. You know, bitching and complaining and trying to be tough all the time. Like, no, stupid. Stupid. Those people lack skills and development and maturity. Because this time is being tough, right? Because right now, you may be going through your own shit, but also the economy and the market is putting pressure on you too. So it's double. Right now is the time to hunker down, put the seatbelt on, get to work, and do what it is that you need to do. And most importantly, get around the right people. If you're in these negative echo chambers and you guys don't have coaching and help and mentorship and support, you will crumble in the next 6 months. You will, because so many of my students message me on a daily basis. I'm so glad I'm in this group. I'm so glad I joined your coaching and this and that, because it's like, this is like a sanctuary, right? Exactly. I created it that way. Because when you enter, it's a different world. Now, prior to opening that up to the public, I did that for myself. Letting only certain people in, doing certain things, having certain rituals, having certain standards in my life. You have to do that too. Right? But as we ascend as human beings and we become better, right? As we ascend and we become better, now everything changes. Like, I'll remember this moment. I remember when I put the Lamborghini in my first house in the garage. I woke up the next day and the first thing I did was, of course, I went to the garage and looked at it. And I said, man, immediately I said, everything has to level up. The people, I need to get another house, like everything. It just immediately raised my standards and everything. And I said, this thing is a phenomenal asset for that. It will force me to level up. It will force me to level up. And it did. It pushed me to another level. Ambition, right? Upgrading my circle, raising my standards. Looking at everything through like that Lamborghini filter. It's like everything in my life has to be Lamborghini. It really does. My own attitude, my interactions with people, how I run my business, right? Because one element of Team BC, right? All of you need to do kind of like a deep dive on your brand. What do you want to give to the world? And one element I know I've always had that I portray to people is prestige. I'm in a league of my own compared to most other people, right? So when I look at the Lamborghini, it's like, okay, Lamborghini's also, it's sexy, but it's prestigious. Not everybody can have access to it. Not everybody can sound like it and look like it, right? That's right. It's exclusive. It's not for everybody. And I know my brand has always had that. And that's why I put it out and I make it known to people. And I embrace that because that's one of the unique aspects of my brand and me as an individual. I am not for everybody, right? It's like, I'm not vanilla ice cream. I'm pistachio, right? Where some people hate me, but the people who love the brand are infatuated and love it. They're raving fans. Exactly. That's what we are. And a lot of people don't even know that about themselves, because forget business for a second in your brand. How about for you? What's that kind of like unique thing about you? And a lot of people aren't even self-aware enough to know what makes them different, because they're so absorbed in other people's lives and other things and distractions that they don't get it. Right? Like I know now that I've really worked on my communication skills, that I am like a messenger. When I speak, people listen for whatever reason. I don't know. I've developed this, and now when I get on stage or I do this stuff or anywhere I go in public, like people just fucking listen. Right? Everywhere I go, little babies stare at me and smile. Like, the kids are always like coming to me, the dogs, like for whatever reason. I don't know what I've unlocked or what I've done, but people pay attention, and even creatures and animals pay attention. So I'm going to use this and work that muscle and develop it until the day that I pass. That's why I will never stop doing these types of things and helping people, right? Because now, we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'm at the top. I just want to give and help people, man. That's what I do. Yes, I make a very good living from it, but I want to help people, right? That's why, especially the students, I really care. I want to help them, Cool. Let's take a look. Jose, he says, BC, what's up? What's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Maybe we'll have you stop by the office this week. What's up, Andrew? He says, what's the link for the Agagi? It should be in the description, bro. go.briancasellacoaching.com/the Agagi. Check it out, bro. And anyone else, right? The Agagi's very no-brainer. Get in, gets you in the group, gets you some stuff, right? Then later we can upgrade you, right? But at least get in. Get in with a group of hustlers and movers, man. Right? Get in with the people who are thinking like you, moving like you, talking like you, right? And that community aspect, it goes back to back in the days when we had tribes, right? It's who you resonate with. And the beauty about the internet and social media, it's made it accessible. When you find your tribe or the people that you identify with, you're like, boom, that's my people. Boom, 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 right? And that's the cool thing about this. All right, y'all. So what do we do? Right? How do we toughen up? Well, there's a lot, right? Everybody who's listening to this recording or on live, you know where your comfort zone is in all these thresholds, right? We can say diet and lifestyle, relationships, right? With human beings, right? Social, right? Your business and your career goals and your ambitions, you know where it is, right? In all these categories. And there's more than that. These are just some. It's up to you to put things in place and measures in place that push that boundary and continuously make that comfort zone bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to where it expands. Most people's comfort zones is very small. That's why they don't move and they live a very sheltered and shut off life to the world. The people who have infinite comfort zones just live freely like a butterfly, right? But it's up to you to identify that, because everybody's different and you push. For some people, saying some of the stuff that I say, right, on their Facebook would terrify them. Well, that's the edge of your comfort zone. Do it. For some people, doing traditional work, cold calling people, door knocking, right? That might do it. That's the edge of your comfort zone. When you've gone out and done it and conquered it and you've gotten results, then you can say you don't have to do it. You'll be dressing how they want to dress. I know for some people, I get message, oh man, I love your shirt, but they won't wear it. I'm like, dude, why don't you buy it? Well, I'm scared. Exactly. That's the edge of the comfort zone. Conquer that shit. Get the shirt, wear it, post it on social media, and flaunt it. And go out with your chest out in public, smiling and saying, yeah, this is a badass shirt, isn't it? And you start to see, when you do this repeatedly in all these areas, like for some people, financial discipline, you will start to feel good when you start paying attention to and managing your finances properly. The jar system, all the stuff that I even talked about on YouTube that blew up hundreds of thousands of views. If you follow that basic stuff, you start to build that self-esteem and momentum, and it just builds. Now the comfort zone extends, life gets better, you start feeling more fulfilled, right? You feel like you're less of a victim, you feel like you're in control of your circumstances in your life. Aha, welcome to the next level, where now it feels like the world is your oyster. This is why I feel like I can reinvent myself 24/7, 365 all the time, and it's not a problem. Shift here, do this, do that, change companies, blah, blah, blah. Like, a lot of people don't know, when I left my last company and made some moves, like I literally walked away from a lot of money. Had I dealt with that situation with the company and stayed, I was making a lot of money passively. I'd built that up for 5 years. A lot of money. A lot of money. No problem. I'll rebuild it. And now 1 year later, my network with the new company is already bigger. It's bigger. All right, cool. I don't want to be on for too long though, y'all. I appreciate it. All the links are in the description. Salute. Normally, most evenings when I do this now, and again, I'll be releasing the official schedule soon. It will be most evenings, probably 6, 7 Eastern, maybe a little bit later, depending on how it goes. If you do come on YouTube and you want to support, leave a like. That's one of the easiest things you can do to support this. Same thing on Facebook and all that fun stuff. Eventually, as the show grows, I will stop streaming it on Facebook and it's only going to be YouTube. All right. Have a good evening, y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.